Hi there and welcome to Two Wheels Better. I'm Jeff Stone. You might know me from my work at the BMF, the British Motorcyclist Federation, and I'm your presenter for this landmark in UK television, a weekly motorcycling programme. Bike hardware as in bikes, software as in clothing and accessories, and loads of issues. Each week we'll be hearing from that new boy at the Ducati team, second time around of course, Carl Fogarty. Also tonight, a top gladiator meets a top firefighter, and if you're into the Triumph legend, great news for you later. But first, feast your eyes on Honda's latest plastic fantastic, the Super Blackbird. In the time it takes to say Super Blackbird, you're doing 60. Let it carry on and you should reach 186 miles an hour. This is a seriously fast motorcycle. Producing 165 brake horse from its 1130cc engine, to get this sort of performance from a car, you'd need a McLaren F1. The engine is based on the highly successful Fireblade, being bored out but with added twin balance shafts. This is some bike. Immediate impressions are very good. Everything comes to hand, and foot for that matter. Mixing it with London's afternoon traffic was a doddle. Light steering, smooth controls, tractable engine, it's got the lot. On the open road though is where this Blackbird really flies, but it's deceptive. It's eerily quiet. In fact, I deliberately left my earplugs out to listen for any noise, but there wasn't any. It was singing alright, but this is quieter than the feathered variety on a spring morning. A whooshing noise from somewhere around you and you're gone. The couple braking system, however, seems effective, but I reckon it will take some getting used to. Still, you don't have separate brake pedals for the front and rear wheels of a car, do you? I think we need some explanation from Honda's Graham Sanderson. Graham, this dual braking system, common to some of your other big bikes, but it's still a bit of a novelty in motorcycle circles. Tell us about it.
Okay, well it works exactly how you'd expect it to work. It simply links the operation of the front brakes, which are twin discs on this machine, and also on this machine the single rear disc brake. So whether you operate the front brake lever, you get power applied to the front brakes and the rear brakes, and exactly the same thing happens when you apply the foot lever as well. And it's a system that we've been developing over the last 5 or 6 years. It first came out on the CBR 1000. It's been developed since then. It's current on the ST 1100 Pan-European, and this is the latest derivation of it, and we think it's entirely appropriate that that style of braking system should be applied to this style of motorcycle.
I must say that the braking system will take some getting used to and not everyone will like it. The fairing, on the other hand, has the lowest drag in its class, but when you stick a rider on it with bits poking out here and there, it spoils the slipperiness a bit. The piggyback headlight is designed to reduce the width of the fairing and hence cut down on drag. How does it compare with the ZZR 1100? It's like cheese and cheese really, cheddar or Cheshire, it's all down to personal taste. They're both fast and comfortable, but deliver in slightly different ways, so try before you buy is my advice. Priced at £9,500, it undercuts the ZZR 1100 by just £50. Now then, filing weekly reports on the programme will be Diane Udale. I'm sure you'll know her from when she was Jet on the Gladiators. Diane's found an excellent replacement for the thrill of being a top gladiator though, and that's riding a bike. In the last 18 months she's taken the training to become a real two-wheel fanatic. Let's join her at her local big bike meet at the Lord Derby in Nottingham, Hampshire, where she's met another TV star, this time from London's Burning, who's also into bikes.
Normally spent courageously putting out fires for your and mine entertainment. That's all. Sean Blows, thanks for being here and coming down.
I don't put fires out anymore, I'm retired now.
You have? What's happened with that?
I left London's Burning, I left in March this year, and I've just finished doing a new series called Staying Alive, which I think goes out on screen in November.
It's not anything like Staying Alive that we know.
I know it's not. I know it's a dodgy title, but actually when you watch it, it's not that bad. It's good.
Fantastic. Now, you bypassed us a few times. You've been to Southampton tonight from Odeon. Why?
I have, because I've heard about it for ages, and I used to come down here all the time. I just couldn't exactly figure out which turn-off it was, so I've done a bit more mileage than anybody else tonight. I'm here now. It's taken me a while, but I'm here.
That's all that matters. Now, bikes and Sean. How did it start? When did it happen?
It's about 7 or 8 years ago, I suppose, when I probably had enough money to go out and buy a bike. And it started with Harleys and custom bikes, and it's gradually progressed into sports bikes. So
That's
now it's full-on sports bikes.
That's a normal sort of route though, isn't it? A lot of people start out with Harleys and Customs and then go into sport bikes. What sort of sport bikes and muscle bikes have you had?
I've had a Bimota, which is very exotic. I've had a 916 Ducati, which was the love of my life, and I've now got a Triumph.
Do you know, that's all people have been showing, what's happened to the 916 as we've been walking in? Everyone's gutted. So why the
The
Triumph?
trouble is, as soon as you sell your 916, you've got no cred in the biking world. That's what happens.
Yeah, but a lot of that's kind of like, you know, it's just face value again. Why the Daytona, the Triumph?
It just suits me for the moment. I've sold the 916 obviously to go sailing around the world, which is my next project. I'm off sailing around the world in September.
Why is that?
I need some spending money for that. There's a lot of time in the ports as we sail around the world.
Are you doing that for any specific reason, or is that just another thing Sean wants to do, another boy toy thing?
Another boy toy thing.
I love it.
Another after dinner discussion thing is like, yeah, when I was sailing around the world, by the way. No,
Big social CV developing.
it's something that was offered to me, and I just felt the opportunity was too good to turn down. So I'm going to do it, and I'm selling my pride and joy to do it. But I've still got the Triumph, so that will be going just before I go, and hopefully I'll get a Triumph when I come back.
Ooh, that sounded ominous. Tell us more.
Well, there's a new Triumph coming out, as people may or may not know. The new Supersonic T509, which is supposed to be a real close rival to the 916 and the Honda Fireblade.
Fantastic. So there you go. That's why the 916 Ducati went.
So that's kind of it. That's the end of my season, really. So hopefully I'll be back next April, and I'll be back when the season starts again.
With a lot of yachting news.
Yeah, but really, I just want to come back and ride my bike.
Rub everyone's nose in everything else that you've done. That's fantastic. Sean, thanks for your time.
Cut.
A great relaxed atmosphere at all bike meetings, and we'll be returning to RDM meeting in a few weeks' time. Of course, when you've got a bike, then you realise just how many accessories you could buy for them. It can get very confusing, but that's why we'll be joined each week by an expert in this field, Wayne Kirsch of On Your Bike.
Hello, welcome to Wayne's bit in the programme. First impressions are very important, and you're not going to get a very good impression of me wearing this stupid helmet, but we're going to go and talk about very many different things, and helmets one of them. Fitting of helmets and borrowing helmets. People do borrow people's helmets when they really should be thrown away in the rubbish bin. Don't. Buy a nice new one. Even if it costs you a lot of money, it's worth it. Fit. Most essential part of the thing is get a helmet that fits. And later on in the programmes, what we're going to talk about is the build of the helmet, the BSI approvals, all about the intricacies and pros and cons, and hopefully it'll be a little entertaining, a little informative. And when you do buy a really nice shiny helmet like that, and you choose the right one, you get the important things right, you can do your hair in the reflection. Talk to you about other things later on. Don't drop that, Paul! Clothing. We're going to talk about clothing. Good fitting, quality clothing, very important on a modern motorcycle, with or without gloves. Leathers, fashionable accessories, but protective. This is the sort of leather I'd wear going to the opera, actually. Safety is of the utmost importance. It's a shame people can't spell who make these. And for those of you who are new to motorcycling, we're going to go on to the subject of boots and the subject of gloves. And if you're not really very sure of yourself, these are gloves and these go on your hands. And we've got the traditional winter glove, we've got the modern sports glove, we've got black gloves and red gloves. We can talk about thick, heavy gloves for touring use, just about everything you can think of in the way of gloves. And those are boots, and those go on your feet. And these are fast boots. These are the ones you can run in if someone's attempting to nick your bike. And no matter what size of motorcycle you've got, whether it's enormous or Wayne's size of bike, we're going to talk about luggage. There's all sorts. There's hard luggage like this, perfectly fitting, or there's soft luggage you can put on the tank, throwovers, on the seat, wherever. We're going to talk about all of them in the future on Men and Motors. No wonder the modern biker is into heavy metal. Because you need all of these when you're riding a modern motorcycle. Uncle Wayne will tell you all about them later on. That's alarms, lock and chains, and securities in general.
Well, no one's going to nick Wayne, that's for sure. We'll have a quick break and then we'll hear what the excellent Carl Fogarty has to say for himself. And it's exclusive here on Two Wheels Better. Welcome welcome back to Two Wheels Better, and here I have the man himself, Carl Fogarty. Carl, can you tell me, your move to Ducati is something that everyone was expecting and it's now happened, so what's the background to that?
Well, I just the year's been pretty difficult this year with the Honda and stuff. Not just riding the bike, I just felt just the way the whole team was run, it's just not what I've been used to for the last 4 years, and you know, I just sort of think I'm missing just being back home, if you know what I mean, really.
So it's not just the bike then, it's the team as well that's important, it's an integral part of it.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not saying that there was, you know, falling out with anybody on there or not. I think they've been 100% behind me this year, you know. But just the way I work, I think, and the way the Italians work, it's a lot more sort of laid back, and I think that suits me. If anything, it's a little bit disorganised, and that's probably me anyway, so that's why I want to be back there, I think. You know, with Honda, it's very, very differently run, very, very official and things, and it's probably not what I've been used to, really. Like I say, it's just that, and obviously other things as well. You know, with the bike, I'm not really suited to my style. That I decided to go back there, really.
Yeah. I did think about the new Honda, the 1000, the V-twin that's coming along. Had that crossed your mind? Was this discussed at all by Honda? They wanted to retain you for racing the V-twin?
No, as far as I'm aware that they're riding the RC45 again next year, so that was never mentioned at all, really, about what bike they'd be using for next year.
Right. And you always felt at home on the V-twin, on the Ducati. What do you think it is particularly that suited that to your style? Is it just power delivery or handling, or? No,
not the power. I think between the Honda and the Ducati, the power is almost the same for me. They accelerate the same and top speed's almost the same. So the biggest problem I think I found was the chassis. You know, what I've been used to on the Ducati, I could carry a lot of corner speed on that bike. Whereas on the Honda, I struggled on a lot of circuits trying to do that, you know. And for somebody who carries a lot of corner speed, to have a bike that doesn't work very good in the middle of the corner, it meant I was struggling for most of the year and having to change my style a lot, you know. And I think I've done that well. I changed it probably around Hockenheim. I'd start riding a lot harder into the corners, slower around the middle a bit, and then really hard out. And I've coped with change. I don't think as many riders could change the style to ride a bike and to win race on it. And I've done that, but it's not the way I felt comfortable. So for me, the Ducati, just the way it runs around the middle of the corner, suited me a lot better than the Honda did.
This family thing then, Carl, it really is an important element to you, is it? You do feel part of the family and at one with the Ducati team. Yeah,
I think there's not many teams you can be in and you actually go out for dinner with the guy who owns the whole company, you know. Whereas you'd never see the guy who owns Honda, I don't think. You know, it's such a big organisation. Like I say, it's very much a family thing. I've been to, you know, Mr. Castiglione's house, who owns Cagiva Group, which owns Ducati, and had dinner at his house with his wife and that, you know. And it's very that sort of laid back sort of feeling you get with it when you're with them, really. And it's just what I've been used to, and I think I just really enjoyed it. You know, it's great.
This is Triumph's 900cc Thunderbird, and she should have been here today, but there's something wrong with the speedboat or something. I'm not too sure exactly what's gone on. Anyway, how often have you parked up your bike and been approached by someone who said, but you can't beat the old British bikes we had when I was a lad? Well, truth is, 30 odd years ago, if you wanted to be the bee's knees among your biking mates, chances are you'd have possibly owned a nice shiny Triumph. Well, now you can do it all again. This is Triumph's weapon in the battle for sales of the retro market, the 900cc Thunderbird, and it's a beauty. The engine is Triumph's rock-steady triple-cylinder 900cc, but it has been detuned slightly for the Thunderbird, and new double overhead cams and a reduction in compression ratio means it only produces around 76 brake horsepower, as opposed to the 97 brake horsepower available from most of the other 900s in Triumph's range. So, apart from the nice shiny Triumph badge on the tank, what else do you get for your hard-earned £8,245? Well, you get lots of nice shiny chrome bits. Now this bike parked up in amongst a line of other bikes, well, you could almost mistake it for the original air-cooled unit. That is, until you spot this nice neat radiator hiding below the headlamp. Well, there's a pair of nice shiny carb covers, lovely polished engine casings, a beautiful twin exhaust system, and a pair of real eye-catching chrome spoked wheels. And with a pair of nice shiny chrome coloured clocks up front and the Triumph logo emblazoned across the top yoke, well, it almost makes me feel proud to be British. Or does it? Well, we'll soon find out. Well, yes, I think it does. This is certainly a bike I wouldn't mind being seen on. The riding position is high up and it's extremely comfortable. And the engine is torquey and it never really feels stressed. The handling is superb, but this isn't a bike for thrashing round the lanes. Posing value is 10 out of 10. Just sit back and enjoy the fact that you look really cool. If you wanted to be picky, then you would have to say that the dashboard warning lamps, particularly the indicators and neutral light, are quite tricky to see, especially in direct sunlight. Maybe self-cancelling indicators would be the answer. Okay, so I'm being a bit fussy. The fact is, there's really not much else to complain about. And if only I could ride it anywhere. Ah well, boys will be boys. Well, I'm now back in the shop, back in Tommy Robb Motorcycles, and I'm joined by the man himself, Tommy Robb. Now, Tommy's been a works Honda rider, a works Yamaha rider, commentated on umpteen TTs, and just done about everything there is to do in the world of motorcycles, including selling bikes for the last 20 years. Now, Tommy, thanks very much for lending me this. It really is great fun. But something I must ask you is, Triumph, I mean, it's an old name, and all the pedigree and all the charisma that goes with it, but who's buying bikes like this? Are the old Triumph riders coming back, or is it a completely new breed of rider that's rediscovered Triumph?
Paul, we're actually getting both. We're getting the born-again biker, the man who has set his business up. His wife's got a car, he's got a car, but he wants a plaything at the weekends. He buys the Thunderbird or any of the other Triumph range, and also the Japanese range. But we get a lot of people who are actually still holding Triumphs themselves, the older model, and they're adding to it now with the new model.
Right, yeah, so what do you say, is there not a school of thought that says, well, okay, £8,000, I have got a nice new bike that looks like an old bike, so why don't I go and buy an old bike for, well, a lot less than that and have the original article? I mean, obviously, 90s technology.
Well, you can't really do that. You see, you can't bring an old bike up to the technological aspect of this particular machine or the four-cylinder machine, because these have got CDI units where the old bike had points. These don't have oil leaks where the old bikes had oil leaks, and everything about them is updated, but the look of the bike is still retro, with the result that they're still comfortable to ride in a retro style, a retro high handlebar position, but you've no problems.
Smashing. And they look great. And really, they do make you feel proud to be British. And you can't forget that you're British when you're riding one of these. I mean, the bike's fantastic, but there's a whole lifestyle that goes with the Triumph range. And am I right in thinking there's quite a substantial aftermarket catalogue for Triumph?
They've really gone to town on this, Paul, because what they've done is they've put additional chrome covers for the radiator. They've put other chrome matching panels. You can buy these as extras. You can buy, even as we have here, one of the leather Harley style panniers, which is a throwover pannier that fits on with a special kit on the side of the machine. Yeah. You've got the bike still with a retro look, and you've got a substantial pannier with it. They also do a screen, a summer screen or a winter screen, which, believe you me, makes all the difference in riding. Yeah. You know as well as I do, when you ride an unfaired bike, once you get to 70 mile an hour plus, your arms start to stretch with the wind pressure on your chest.
That's right, yeah.
With these screens on, it makes the Thunderbird capable of 100, 110 mile an hour without any effective wind resistance on you.
Great. Well, there it is, the Triumph Thunderbird, a cracking looking bike. Well, you can join me next week on Men and Motors, aren't we, riding something else fantastic. I really don't know what it's going to be just yet. Well, let's finish with one quick last look at Pamela riding her Triumph Thunderbird.
Well, they say the test of a true bike man is if you were drooling over the Triumph rather than Pamela's leather-clad body. Not politically correct, but never mind. And if the very word Triumph sends a tingle to your pleasure centres, I've got good news for you. Starting soon, we'll have a regular feature looking at the history of the Triumph marque. From a 1902 293cc single-cylinder bike right up to the launch of the eagerly awaited T595 and T509 superbikes, which I was lucky enough to have a brief look at this week. And just for you, I sneaked a camera in as well. The T509 Speed Triple is a bug-eyed, stripped-down, lean machine using a tuned version of the proven 855cc engine, producing 108 brake horsepower with a wide spread of torque. But it's the 595 Daytona that's causing all the excitement. It's taken 2.5 years to develop, but Triumph have really gone to town on the T595 Daytona. More powerful than the Boy Racer's Fireblade, more torque than the Italian Stallion 916. This is the Dogs Doodahs par excellence, and I haven't even ridden it yet. At 198 kilos, it's 20 kilogram lighter than the old 900 Daytona, thanks to a trick aluminium perimeter frame using the engine as a stress member. A massive single-sided swinging arm allows quick wheel removal and the oval exhaust to be tucked well away. The back tyre is an enormous dual compound Bridgestone BT56 190/50, the first time such a monster has been fitted to a production bike. The engine is new too. Developed in collaboration with Lotus, it uses fuel injection for the first time on a British bike. At 955cc, it's bigger than the old Daytona 900, but uses much lighter castings and internals. New too is a sophisticated Sargem engine management system, the most powerful computer ever fitted to a bike. It operates at 3 million instructions per second. In fact, it's so clever that the emissions are reduced to a point where a catalytic converter is unnecessary. They're yours at a measly £9,999 for the 595 or £8,860 for the 509. They're great, aren't they? And there'll be more amazing Triumphs when we're allowed to ride them. Now, all the new models and accessories will be on show at this year's bike show at the NEC, and we've got 5 pairs of tickets to give away. Here's the simple question for you. What was the total show attendance figure at last year's bike show? Guess if you like. The nearest 5 win a pair of tickets. Our address is 2 Wheels Better. You'll find us at Granada Sky Broadcasting, Granada TV, Key Street, Manchester, M60 9EA. That's Granada Sky Broadcasting, Granada TV, Key Street, Manchester, M60 9EA. Finally, this Sunday the 6th, I look forward to meeting you at Alton Park in the northwest for the Great Northern Bike Run. Guest race stars and TV celebrities aplenty will be there, including Steve Hislop, Phil McCallan, Eric Richards from The Bill, Peter Armitage from Coronation Street, and many more. There'll also be spectacular stunts from Jason Finn, the trials rider, and Dave Coates, who's a stunt rider with a GSXR Suzuki. Loads of stalls, mini moto racing, track cavalcades, and the Wall of Death. Have a go if you like. It's only £5 a bike or a car, and it's all in aid of the Make-A-Wish charity. See you at Alton Park on Sunday the 6th.